Good evening, dear friends. Hope you're all doing well. We are continuing today the Daily Mitzvah, 64th day, and we are continuing this big, massive mitzvah, the mitzvah of HaChedesh HaZalachem Reish Chodashim. It's a mitzvah on the Jewish people to create and establish and sanctify the Jewish calendar on a monthly basis. And we spoke in length about how this was done in the original way, in temple times, the biblical way the mitzvah is supposed to be done. That is through eyewitness testimony, and we spoke at length about how we have moved past that system simply because we cannot do it anymore. We don't have the necessary conditions to be able to fulfill this mitzvah properly, and therefore we are right now working with a scripted calendar, and the Rambam decodes for us the system of the calendar. The calendar, the Jewish calendar, runs on a 19-year cycle. And the amount of math that is built into this calendar and the reason why it works and how it consistently works, and we never lose track of time, so to speak. We never fall off of alignment with times and the seasons and the months. It is unbelievable. It's an amazingly specific calendar, perfectly, calibrated? That was the word I was looking for. Perfectly calibrated. And it just works well. The Rambam gives us a little bit of a tour of it. So the way it works is like this. There are a few general conditions of the Jewish calendar. The timing of the way the solar system works, when new months are born. The cycle of the moon is 29 days and a few hours and a few sections of an hour. Okay, so it's not an exact number. So when it's an inexact number, it makes it difficult to always keep balancing it out. And the amount of days that the sun, we call the year 365 days, the solar year. But it's not 365 days. It's 365 days and a few hours. But according to Jewish law, you're only allowed to add a leap year, a full month. You can't add an extra days. So you got to do full months as well. Rosh Chodesh, on a monthly basis, needs to be full days. So really, a month from if you want to be precise, a month is 29 days, a few hours, and a few halakim, and a few sections of an hour. But that can't be a month. A month can't start midday. You can't have a day that the first part of the day is part of the previous month, and the next part of the day is part of the next month. It needs to be complete days. So a month is either 29 complete days or 30 complete days. So basically, 19 years gives the Jewish calendar the ability to recalibrate itself perfectly, almost perfectly. I'll get that in a second, where the months always stay within a day or two of the rebirth of the new moon. It's like that the beginning of a month is always going to coincide with the rebirth of the new moon, and the 15th day of the Jewish month is always going to be when the moon is at its fullest. And the months always are calibrated and stay aligned with the seasons. It's like that Pesach is always going to be in the spring. And when we come back 19 years and we restart the cycle, everything fits perfectly. The only thing that happens, says the Rambam, is that there's a little bit of a time difference. There's a little bit of time, a slight margin of error, that even with the calendar, it just no matter which way you spin the calendar, it's just impossible to cover for that little bit of time. And because of that, every single 19 years, the calendar gets about an hour off alignment. So the real truth is that it's not a perfect calendar. Mathematically, it's impossible to make it perfect and keep within all the rules, but it doesn't make much of a difference. That 1 hour lost every 19 years, it's going to take us a very, very long time for that to make any significant difference. And by then, Mashiach is going to be here, so it's not going to make a difference anyways. Point being, that is how the calendar works. It's a very complex system, 19 years. Every single year has a specific code. No 2 years are exactly the same. Every single year has a different code of when the years begin. There's also some months in the Jewish calendar that will have 30 days. Some months will have 29 days. And that can change from year to year. The month of Cheshvan, which is the month right after the high holidays, that month, some years is going to have 29 days. Some years that's going to have 30 days. So when you take all these things into account, it's a 19-year system. 7 of those 19 years are leap years with 13 months, such as this year was. And that is the basic rundown of how the Jewish calendar that we operate with today works. 19-year cycle, very particular, very specific, very perfect, very calibrated. And dear friends, that is another layer of this mitzvah that we're learning today. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all tomorrow for our next installment. Sei gesund.